We, the small countries with a small voice, say, listen to those scientists. Get rid of the idea of accumulating nuclear weapons. So why do we never mention and forget all about international security? Because the permanent UN Security Council members have the vested interests to dominate. There is too much economic and political interest in the arms race. The founding charter of the UN says that the Security Council shall be responsible for the establishment of a system to regulate armaments. But why haven't they done it? Because those who conduct the arms negotiations, purportedly for arms control and disarmament, they are the same ones who carry forward the arms race. They say we must see about negotiations. What negotiations? Those are the same responsible for the one and the other. The negotiations have been a stagnant pretense to deceive the people that something is being done about the arms race, which is a galloping reality.
Throughout the UN system, there's almost a paralysis. There hasn't been any agreement or any movement whatsoever, or transparency. We see a hardening of positions. The United States, China, but we also see it the same. We get the same feeling from France. We get the same feeling from the United Kingdom and from Russia, that the five are not willing to forego the nuclear weapon option. A lot more emphasis on renewal of nuclear weapons programs.
Precisely the value of the Oslo Conference. We put aside all these very rational, political, legal or security arguments, and we focus in understanding from a very practical, concrete point of view exactly what could happen if there is an intentional detonation or is an accidental detonation. The absolutely overwhelming, catastrophic impact of a nuclear weapon from which we cannot prepare, and it is impossible once it happens to recover from.
Weapon states refuse to attend the initial conferences.
We've come a long way, but a lot still remains to be done. The job won't be finished until the last missile is in place. Preserving the peace by promising total destruction to those who would choose war.
Is this not the depth of psychosis? At the very same time, while these 158 countries are working hard conferencing together to halt the nuclear weapons, the business that orders and makes them continues unfazed, rapidly moving forward, holding their exclusive so-called nuclear deterrence summits in style in Washington, D.C., for hundreds of competing undisclosed contractors, sponsored by our corporations, presented by and working intimately with our Pentagon, Departments of Energy and Budget, our universities, and the National Nuclear Security Administration, among others.
The current UK Trident warhead that's deployed in the present-day Trident strategic deterrent were all developed under this regime, together with the technical collaboration with US scientists and engineers and access to US facilities. I look forward to this interaction continuing and expanding. Testing in our business is as critical today as it was when we started nearly 70 years ago.
The role of money has always been important, but it's much bigger today. Financial world has become twice as big as it was 15 or 20 years ago. It's grown enormously, and they clearly are politically much more powerful than they used to be.
Huge profits for very few people. Where has that money really gone? Into the pockets of the contractors. And where did the money come from? The public. Their tax dollars have just been poured into this. Tax dollars are supposed to be meant to serve the people.
There's a disconnect. There's a couple of things that are obvious. First of all, war is not about conflict resolution. It does not resolve conflict. We know how to resolve conflict. War is not about national security. It does not create national security. We know how to create national security.
This refurbishment It's a jobs program, a way of keeping people employed. They have to have something for Los Alamos to do, and so they pay huge amounts of money to refurbish the warheads.
It's a great industry for themselves. It does not serve the American people.
The incredible commitment that too many members have to building more nuclear weapons when we don't have any targets anymore. And some people just think of the defense budget as a jobs bill. No, it should just be what enhances our security. And if you can't justify it on that basis, you just can't maintain it because it adds to the instability on the planet.
What is war about? From all the wars I participated in and all the wars I've studied, one thing became very clear to me. In every single one of them, a few people made a massive amount of money or got a great deal of power. And if that is the one constant salient feature, why do we refuse to consider that that's the cause?
They're a business that responds to customers. They respond to orders. They're getting orders to build bombers. And those orders come from Congress. The ultimate question, who decides here? If we still have a democratic system, we decide. Now, if we bail out, which is what we're doing, and pass the buck to other people, which we've usually done also, but we're doing it to a degree that is, I think, is unusual.